What's good, YouTube? Back with another reaction. You know what I'm saying? Reaction on crack. You know, we're coming back to back. Once again, intro is on the way. And I may look stupid right now because I may have added the intro. Like, depending on, I've been doing a lot of editing. So, depending on when this video, like, comes out, I might have already made the intro. You feel me? So, you might be seeing this. So I'll try to keep it quick. So, I was going to pre-fire a little like. We got a video on Teen Titans Go. It's good, but freaky by the dog Cloudify. And yeah, check out the Discord link down in the description. Notify every time I post a YouTube video, which is twice daily, and every time I go live. We're just gonna hop straight into it.
Something bad looks so good.
Teen Titans Go, the only show on Cartoon Network that could compete with the amazing world of Freakball in terms of the jokes.
He knows ball. Yo, it's crazy. I seen like a like picture of like the guide and what they had running, bro. They had Teen Titans Go running all day, bro.
Actually landing on July 19th, 2003, Teen Titans aired, and wait, that's my birthday, but before I was born. I guess that this is my purpose after all. Everyone loved Teen Titans, and even though I wasn't born in time to see its premiere, as soon as I did spawn in, I grew to love the show as well. It was something we had never seen before. Robin and a group of other young heroes taking the spotlight and forming the best super team of all time. Who wouldn't fall in love with it? But only
Yeah, and I think it was also good because it is more relatable than seeing like heroes just hero, like the Justice League or Batman. I feel like Teen Titans was like that, literally like teen age approach for like the newer audience, where like they can see these heroes that they grew up with that are like sidekicks become heroes, and like what it means to be a hero on like a deeper level, rather than just, you know what I'm saying, the traditional.
3 short years later, on January 16th, 2006, the final episode of the show aired. It was titled Things Change, and boy, did things change. 10 years after the premiere of the original show, its successor had arrived. April 23rd, 2013, the birth of the original show, its successor had arrived. April 23rd, 2013, the birth of Teen Titans Go. Anybody that hated the show didn't really give it a fair chance because they felt as if it was replacing Teen Titans. But honestly, that's just not the case. If you take it for what it is, aka a parody of the show, then you could look at it from a different lens. It's meant to make fun of things and turn these characters into extreme characters.
Yeah, I mean, at first I kind of was on the hate train too, just a little bit. But I watched it, and Night Begins to Shine was tough. What he said? I'm the soul collector, baby. I'm death. The show had its moments. Only thing I didn't like about the show was how much they kind of hold Robin, or my dog Nightwing, Richard Grayson. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how much they hold him, because in the OG show they showed us that he doesn't take himself too serious. There's an episode where they all put on his mask, right? And then Raven says, they're passing the piece around. Starfire's like, oh yeah, would you like some, Robin? Of course, Robin. Like, they're just passing it around, right? And then Raven's like, yeah, the mask makes you feel cool. And then Robin comes back and goes, oh yeah, it makes you feel cool too. Takes a slice of pizza. It shows that he's human. That's like his whole thing. He doesn't want to become Batman. He wants to be hope for people in a way that Batman can't. You feel me? But he has like that similar origin. They kind of slandered his character. But again, it's a parody show. It's a cartoon. It's not meant to be taken so seriously, which is why I never hated it, and I still watched it. The Joker impressions they did, they went crazy, bro. It's just, it do get a little freaky.
Caricatures of what they used to be. Yo, that sounded kind of smart, like a video essay or something. This show isn't Teen Titans, and it isn't trying to be either. And through that originality, we were graced with banger after banger after banger that the original series just couldn't produce, whether it was Shrimp and Prime Rib, Catchin' Billins, or the oh-so-popular Sour Grapes. But aside from the fire songs they gave us, this show is full of passion, and I'm being serious. The original cast returned to fill their roles once more, and you can just tell how much fun they're having. The writers obviously have a field day when writing the scripts for these episodes. Heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if they just let the animators wing it and there was no script. And if that's the case, then they had a little too much fun with Lady Freakasis, but we'll talk about that later. The show is filled to the brim with references of the wider DC universe, and it's obvious that everyone involved are fans of the source material. But it can't be all sunshine and rainbows, right? There has to be more to it. All the hate for the show couldn't be unjustified. Even with all the good things I mentioned, I completely understand how someone could still dislike this show. The first group of people I imagined are on the older side. They were there when the original show aired and got their hopes up when Teen Titans Go was announced.
And then also, because they're on the older side, they're not here for like that cartoon aspect. Because mind you, the first one was a cartoon, but it's like anime, right? Anime, people call cartoons, which is disrespectful if you take it too serious, but like not looking at it that way, but just in terms of people calling it a cartoon, it's like disingenuous considering you got your animes like Death Note. Your animes like Akame Got Killed. Your animes like Parasite, Chainsaw Man, JJK. That's not a cartoon. You're not sitting your kid in front of that and making them watch it. Yes, it's a masterpiece. What I'm saying is cartoons typically are like Teen Titans Go. They have like that soft vibe. Even Gumball had like creepy episodes here and there, but the overall premise of the show is not too, you feel me, do too much in terms of horror. It's supposed to be light, fun-hearted, and then they kind of engrave messages in there as well that like not only kids can understand, but the teens who are watching it can relate to, and then the adults can like look at it and be like, oh shoot, I got my kids watching Peak Low-key. You feel me? That's tough. You feel me? Like Avatar is considered a cartoon, even though there's like some deep stuff in there. That's why I don't mind calling it an anime, because cartoon is like a blanket term. But these older people are not trying to watch cartoons. They're trying to watch something with a little more of a serious tone. There's humor in it, but it's talking about the overall DC universe as a whole. You feel me?
Maybe they thought it'd be a continuation of the show they loved so much, and after seeing how extremely different it was, their expectations were obviously not met. It's understandable. Others just may not like the show's sense of humor, or dislike the lack of a central plot, or any real story for that matter. All completely fair criticisms. But it wouldn't be fair for me to just sit here and assume people's problems with the show, so let's look at the reviews for ourselves. Already, it's not looking the best with the amount of 1-star reviews.
Yeah. This is not a good thing. This, I mean, it is, right? Because what this means is it's a pretty decent show because the amount of 5-star ratings. But it will be peak if it's like this. You got, it don't need to be much higher than this, but say this many 5-star, like either this many or this many 4. That much 3, and then 2 can stay the same, and then 1 would be like here. People are gonna hate. They're gonna see something they don't like. This is absolute hogwash. You feel me? Absolute brickle brackle. They're gonna start hating, right? So it's like you like to see it more dispersed, but this alone shows that there's 2 different audiences that wanted to watch the show. What I was just saying about like if it's peak, it's like more dispersed. It's because there's a primary target audience and the show's hitting that audience, but it can still appeal to people who are not of that audience, which is why you'd see like hella 5 stars, which the majority, keep it real, it's from a target audience, and some aren't. Most of the 4 stars are going to be the non-target audience who actually find it really good, and then 3-star are the people in the middle. This isn't for me, or the people who it is target audience, they just didn't mess with it because they're not going to give it a 1 star. While your 1s and your 2 stars are either people who take it too serious and are like, oh, I've been here from the beginning, and it's not what I wanted to see. Or there are people who it's not in the target audience, and they don't want to look at it at all. You feel me? There's like, I mean, I was going to say there's no in between. There is an in between, but I hope you can see what I'm talking about.
reviews, almost matching the amount of 5-star reviews. But wait, what's that at the bottom, you ask? A 5-star written review, I answer. This show is the best sitcom ever to be shown on TV. I didn't grow up with it, but I had seen parts of it on YouTube, and I finally watched it. This
Holy keyboard warrior, man. Hello? Chandler? Yeah, this is Friends. This is Friends. I promise you this is Friends. I haven't watched Friends for real. But like, I know these names.
show is so sad, but at the same time, it is so funny and beautiful and romantic. It's like the TV version of a comfort food, XD. Chandler is so sweet. Are we sure this guy's talking about the right show? Alright, I'll just read the one right below it instead. I have no words to describe my absolute disappointment in this show. Teen Titans Go is just bad. The animation, I don't care.
I feel like people take that too serious. Like, it's a TV show. It's like, don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to undervalue it because there are TV shows that I put up there, like Avatar. Like, even if we want to get like real TV, The Flash. And I know the bond between a boy and his favorite superhero. The first show, a man even, because at one point he was a boy, and his favorite hero or his comfort show. I get it, but when you start taking things too serious, you can't have like fun, dog, and you're gonna hyper analyze, which leads to hyper criticizing something that doesn't need to be criticized to such a degree. Hyper analyzing is fine. I do it all the time, right? I don't like the way his hair is just like unsymmetrical on my Deaf to Kids, right? But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna leave a review commenting about every hyper analysis I've made, and that makes it bad. I would say all in all, you could argue it's a decent show. I would say from a fan's perspective, I'm gonna say it's a 3. Calm show. They do cover episodes that talk about the origins. Something good to watch, like turn your brain off too. I don't like the way they do my Robin, you know what I'm saying? But from another perspective, I can go peak songs, good show to like, just throw on. It's meant to be taken a little more serious. It's like the humor is like childish, but I'm not letting my kid watch and throw it back and shit. That's too, you feel me? So I think the audience range is like 8 to maybe 15. 15 on a good day. Right, but obviously adults can still watch it. Little kids can still watch it. It's up to preference. Cool, I would leave it at that. That's like a calm little review. Animation is absolute horrid. They don't discuss the backstories. They hate on Rob. Like, come on.
Care about because it is a cartoon, so it's meant to be lazy. The description of this show is what happens when the capes come off. They didn't do a good job. If this is supposed to remake a show that was original,
that's the description. What happens when the capes come off? That sounds like a hard like one-liner. That sounds like a hard one-liner. That sounds like something that would be in Young Justice. Other good mention. Top 2. Like, that's a 5-star DC show. But that'd be a good like one-liner. Like, there's a character that's like a workaholic with the hero shit. He lets it eat up at his like soul, and like he makes it become his life. And then Batman is like, yeah, bro, I'm a workaholic myself. Da da da. Like, no, you don't get it. Blah 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 blah. And he's like, being a hero is important, but what's just as important is what happens when a cape comes off. That should sound kind of hard. But, I mean, I guess that is kind of what Teen Titans is. Like, there's some episodes about, like, folding clothes. They talk about random stuff. It's meant to, like, have heroes in these real-life scenarios and then just throw, like, hella comedy into it. That's what it's supposed to be. Young Justice is kind of the same thing. Like, premise. But it's a lot funnier. Or not a lot funnier, but it's a lot more enjoyable because there's like a linear kind of plot you're following, and you see what's depicted in the comics in characters that you enjoy, so you're not gonna just be like, oh my, fuck off, I hate it. People let one thing ruin things for them, and I think that's what happened when Teen Titans Go. Oh, they're ruining my favorite character, I'm off this show. Or, oh, this is 2-year-old humor, I'm off this show. You feel me? A little stuff
only
like that.
dark and actually for teens, make it similar. Cartoon Network has fallen from making original shows to reboots of old cartoons and inserting butt jokes every 8 seconds. I haven't even gotten to the characters yet. Their attitudes are repulsive. If Cartoon Network animators went outside and interviewed an actual teenager, this show would be very different.
And I hear that. The OG Teen Titans is meant to. That's a fair criticism. Because the OG Teen Titans is meant to be like that teenage vibe. These are sidekicks going into adulthood. That is what the show follows. They cover relationships. They cover how important your past is. They cover the detrimentality of having secrets in the midst of being a team. That's fair. That's a fair criticism. There's no like, actually wrong criticizing. That's a fair criticism. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. But the creators probably, just
Nobody acts like this, not even the original characters. There is no storyline this show follows. It changes it and just comes up with it as it goes. There were some decent episodes like The Night Begins to Shine, not the one filler episode but the short series. I only watched a few of the OG Teen Titans everyone was talking about, but I don't even need that to know they ruined them. I have a basic understanding of preteens and teenagers, and they do not make butt jokes.
I think he's very caught up by the butt. See, that threw him off of the show. But yeah, I think he's taking the title like too literally. Yeah, that's all I can think.
Then this show's air schedule is every single day. They waste their budget on this dead show instead of keeping up shows their viewers like. Not to mention, the fandom is toxic to people who like the original, saying, "It's funny, they don't know true humor, you suck," and other babyish insults. The show is not funny. This show teaches the wrong morals 99.9% of the time. Robin is a Starfire-obsessed control freak. Starfire is a slow Martian. Cyborg is a meatball burger-obsessed amplified faulty American. Beast Boy is a disgraceful, useless Chad. Raven is an emo, typically depressed child. Teen Titans Go is not for anyone but people who think this show has a valuable lesson or story to tell. This show needs to be put down before CN ends up bankrupt and forgotten. Bleed your eyes out at me if you hate me. I really don't care. This is a review, not a debate. I'm not interested in your sob story of an excuse for why Teen Titans Go is good. Be my guest if you want to go ahead. So, there's a lot to unpack here. Out of respect for the original reviewer, I'm in no way trying to change your opinion on the show. I will simply be addressing these criticisms and giving my opinion on why the show is not only watchable, but actually pretty good. Now, firstly, the reviewer claimed to be disappointed in the show, but later on admitted that they haven't even watched the original. So that leads me to wonder what expectations you could have possibly had. Not to mention, expectations so high that it'd lead you to making a 1-star review. Then you say you don't care about the animation, so that couldn't have been what disappointed you so badly. You say that this is a remake of a dark show, which just isn't true, and again, you didn't even watch.
Yeah, I was about to say that. If your claim is you didn't watch the original, and I think that's clearly a shield to kind of make it like oh, trust me guys, I'm not here because I watched the original. I'm here because it's actually butt cheeks, right? It was like a kind of smokescreen to like make you not turn your brain off and reading his comment by just knowing, oh, he's one of the OG. He's one of the OGs. He don't mess with the new, right? I feel like that was a smokescreen because I don't think the OG was too dark. I just think, again, it covered the same premise, right? Except there was an actual story. Characters were developed a lot more, right? Characters were true to their canonic counterparts in terms of inverse, and people just enjoyed that a lot more. And like I said, they covered the intricacies of being like a teenager and becoming, or essentially being a young adult, kind of becoming an adult. I feel like that's what it was. Because Cartoon Network has like these shows that like could have been Adult Swim shows. They have like these shows that like the best way to explain it, like Toonami too, is like these are shows that are meant for those people that are like either kids that enjoys this like this demographic or this niche, but primarily people who like want to see this form of media. People who want to see DC, but also people who kind of want to see that life lesson. There was comedy in it. Don't get twisted. Even when it was mad comedy in it. But I speaking from experience, I came in on some. This one was on Boomerang too. Tangent. But I came in on some like, I mess with DC. Robin is my dog. Let's see what Teen Titans is talking about. And it delivered. There's humor in it. That's Beast Boy and Cyborg's whole thing. Teen Titans Go took what they already were and I guess like kind of amplified it. And the creators did what they wanted to do to make it more entertaining, but they still keep their original like flair in this show. There are moments where Starfire is like breathing fire, right? Comedic aspects. There was the moments with I think her name's Kitty something. I could be getting her confused with the X-Men. But the girl with the blonde hair, she's in Go as well. She was talking about going on a date with Robin, right? And Starfire thinks it's like a duel or something. So she was like, "Oh, Robin accepts." And then he explains to her what it is. And then he's like, "Robin does not accept," or something like that. Like there's comedic moments in that bit. There's a scene everybody was using for PFPs when they was doing like the prom joint. Robin had a little bow tie. He was tugging it like these. You know what I'm saying? There were scenes, bro. There were scenes that also showed. Again, this is a story following the Teen Titans. Like it shows how they met. Type. That's what one of them was, bro. And then it covered like the aspects of Red X, the aspects of Slade playing mind games on Robin. What are we on about, bro?
Watch the full series. And worst of all, you keep comparing
That doesn't like dismiss Bro's point about it being dark, but I'm saying it's not dark. It's just accurately covering this story. It's DC, dog. We're humans. It's covering a spin on real life, right? Like with these fictional characters, this fictional setting. How do people interact here? How are these characters gonna interact? It's media, gang. It wasn't meant to be this non-funny type of show.
them to actual teenagers. You claim to have a basic understanding of
This is kind of, I'm pausing a lot, but it's not meant to be overly serious because they already have that within the Justice League, right? They already talk about the morals. They already talk about, can Billy Batson stay a leaguer? They already talk about Superman represents justice this way. Batman represents justice this way. They already talk about, is it okay for Batman to have contingencies on his own team? They cover these aspects, gang. They're already covered. Teen Titans was like a light-hearted way to show that teenagers and younger people go through problems just like adults do. This is how they handle it. This is how their characters are shaped. That's why there's more humor in it than you may see in your average like Batman joint. You know what I'm saying?
preteens and teenagers, whatever that means, which leads me to assume that you're not even one. Firstly, teenagers today are a lot different than they were 10 years ago or whatever. And as a teenager myself, brain rot is a very real thing that has led to people I know acting like a Teen Titans Go character. Honestly, them being teens in this show is the least important thing or narrative that the show is trying to push. It's for namesake and nothing more. But again, other things you mentioned, like not finding it funny, is completely subjective, and I understand the humor isn't for everyone. But there's a difference between disliking a show and just being straight up freaking rude. This guy says, "This show sucks, and whoever watches this and enjoys it is trash." Why are Teen Titans Go haters so aggressive? Just calm down and give valid reasoning for a once.
Niggas can't enjoy a show. I'm trash now. Who, me?
Star review. His first reason is that it apparently teaches kids bad morals. Oh, so the amazing world of Gumball has far more valuable lessons, right? Reason 2, the Titans act more like villains than heroes. It's a comedy, so anything can happen for the sake of a joke. They also give a bunch.
That's also the point. It's like a play on like how some heroes, Batman as an example, it's my dog, but like he's beating on it's like a villain, you know. And again, it's supposed to be comedy. Anything is good for the bit. Obviously, barring like illegal stuff, but everything else is like good for the bit.
Bunch of comparisons as to why the older versions of the characters are better. Again, the show is a parody and is playing up the characters to their extremes. And the reviewer doesn't even do a good job at summarizing the characters. Robin wasn't always serious. Beast Boy's entire personality didn't revolve around liking Tara. And Raven.
That's what I'm saying. Robin was not always serious in the original show. That's like his thing. He's the Batman of the team. but he's not Batman. You see what I did there? He has that archetype of the leader, very knowledgeable. And mind you, that's his whole point. Him and Batman come from a similar background, except obviously he wasn't rich. But after being adopted by Batman, he is rich. So basically, rich kid's parents dies, becomes a hero, right? But his whole thing is he transcends that, and that's why he becomes Nightwing, not Batman. Simple. They could have did some like Blue Beetle, but like he became the next Batman, and now there's just different stories of different Batmans in different eras of time. They didn't do that. They made him Nightwing for a reason, because he's not meant to be Batman. Batman was meant to strike fear into the heart of villains in Gotham. He's still a hero. He still inspires people. One of the creators even said if Batman doesn't have a utility belt with like a lollipop in it for a kid, right? That's not Batman. If he's not able to give hope and inspire, make people feel protected. For example, even in the animated series, he asked the little girl what her favorite hero was. She said Superman. Did he get bitter? Did he make a joke like Teen Titans, throw her out the car? No. He said, I have a secret. That's my favorite hero too. Because he's not like this conceited person where like, I have to be the best hero. Booster Gold, for example, that's my dog. No strays to Booster. For any Booster lovers out there, I promise I love Booster. But you know, his thing is he wants to be seen as a hero versus Batman, who's just doing what he's doing, right? Especially because you have to remember he's his father's son, and how in his stories, legacy ties into his character as well. His father was doing criminals, if you didn't know, as like a millionaire, right? And like and not trying to keep them in check, but as a result, he kind of kept the villains in check. He was like cool. He was cool in Gotham because he was working with somebody, paying people off, all types of stuff. So Batman's whole thing is his son, the inheritor of Wayne Enterprises, which was not always that got its money to clean his way. He's not gonna be the cleanest hero because that's hypocrisy. This very money that was earned off this heinous, I can't take that and try to flip the image of Wayne Enterprises, do a 180, make this kiss my parents' feet, and no, it was just I went through something sad. I'm gonna make sure this tragedy don't happen to nobody else. I'm gonna do the hero thing. I'm gonna protect people. I'm gonna be nice to people, but when it comes to these criminals, I'm showing them no mercy, right? And some people try to be reductionist and disrespect Batman's character. Oh, he's just a grown man who uses his trauma as an excuse to beat up on people. Sure, if that's what you want to say, you know what I'm saying. He's saving lives, right? But if you want to say he's just being on, it's okay. I wonder how you feel about Red Hood. Right? Batman is like this kind of aggressive, talk. I get it. You play the games. I get it. I get it 100%. It's not always Bruce, though. That's not always Bruce. The same way there is Superman. Certain things about Superman, certain narratives always pushed. Like narratives of him being like overly naive in some of these movies. Oh, that's my cousin. That's my cousin, Bruce. What's the worst that can happen? Him getting grabbed by the cape by Darkseid. That's not always Superman. Superman is also like the neighborhood hero on some Spider-Man, because that's his thing. You feel me?
Was a nice demon who loves her friends more than anything, and your critique with the newer one is that she likes Pretty Pegasus and wears her hood a lot. I think it's time for us all to just admit that Teen Titans Go is peak, and if you do have real criticisms, be respectful when making them, and maybe the creators won't disregard what you say, because it just comes across as you being butthurt about a 20-year-old show, and just like that, you just got schooled. Take that, mean 1-star reviewer. But the show does have its problems. A real critique of the show could be just how freaky it is. There are so many scenes centered around Robin's butt, I couldn't even count them all. And Lady Freakasus made one appearance too many. These guys are just PG-13 gooners. I mean, there's even a song and dance dedicated to shaking your booty. The Booty Scooty. Here's some of the lyrics. Scoot your booty, that booty, now do the booty scooty. Alright, turns out that's the full song. Aside from the song, it's not uncommon for cartoons to implement humor for older audiences to make it funny for everyone, and the OG series was no different. So again, I think this show is great. It's fine to dislike it. In fact, you don't even need to have a reason for not liking something. But to go out of your way and leave a negative review, I'd expect to see some valid reasoning.
I can't see the timer because I have my thing. I'm just gonna, yeah, it was about to end. Excellent, excellent. Radar. Appreciate y'all both for watching. Like I said earlier, Discord, comments, link in the description. Make sure you join that so you get notified every time I go live. We're building a community over there. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all boys for staying tuned. And what else? I love y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. You know what time to find me next. Peace.